All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. So, as I told y'all earlier, I do have a special guest here with me today, and it is such an honor to have him here. Y'all, I'm telling you, before I even met him, I was inspired, and I'm even more inspired now that I know more about him. God is definitely using him. It is a blessing to have him here. So, I do believe that someone will be touched this morning. Hearing his testimony, a small portion of his testimony has inspired me, so I know that it will do the same for you as well. Good morning, good morning. I have Jonathan Collins here with me. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for coming on the show and for taking your time, I know, in your busy schedule.
Good morning. Thank you, Jessica. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for everyone that's listening as well.
Yes, y'all, just to give y'all a little backdrop, something how God moves, he's amazing. He is the CEO of Love is Black, and he's also an author of a book that I can't wait to read. And we'll get to that, but I was honestly inspired by him, and he didn't even know it. I was out one night, and someone had on a Love is Black shirt. And I saw more than one, and I had seen them before. And I'm like, where did you get this shirt from? And they said, this guy named Jonathan Collins, and he told me about him. I said, oh, I would love to interview him. Is there a way that, I can get in touch with him? And he was like, yeah, give me your information, and I'll let you know. So, long story short, God made a way because the gentleman didn't happen to reach out to me, but God said, when he wants something to happen, he will make it happen. And literally, I walked into his presence and did not know that he was there, y'all. So, it is amazing. You never know who's watching. So, it's something how he was standing right there. And literally, God answered my prayer to interview him. So, he is here this morning. And we're going to get into it. I want to start off with asking, how did Love is Black get started?
Well, I started Love is Black December 2019. And at that time, I believe that America and the Black community was definitely in a different place. And I'm married, been married for 5 years now. I got 4 beautiful kids. And I'm going to tell you that Love is Black was just something that was inspirational. I looked at it and said, you know what? Love is Black can mean anything. And it could be the love shared between you and your kids. It could be the love shared between you and your spouse, your siblings, and things like that. So it's definitely a positive message. It's not to say that love isn't any other color, but I believe that definitely me as a Black man, I feel like we love in so many different ways that a lot of people don't really understand it. So it really blew my mind yesterday to see a bunch of men walking around. I don't know if you ever seen the shirt or not, but to have a Black man walking around with a shirt that says love and a big heart on it really just blew me completely away. I'm just looking around. You just see people that's in the streets, like thugs and people like that proclaim that they do certain things, and they walking around with love on their shirt and a big heart. To me, I thought that's dope. That's dope.
So when did you start Love is Black? Did it start?
The company started December. I'm gonna say like November, December 2019 is actually when I started. I was in a real different space, just trying to reconnect, build my relationship with God a lot stronger, than it just came up.
Wow! So your connection with God brought this into fruition.
Mm-hmm.
So I want people to know, y'all, I was so inspired and touched by the beginning of his book, the foreword. Y'all, you have to get his book. I'm going to post it on Facebook. You have to get his book. In the foreword, a young lady mentioned that she had prayed for him, that she had never seen someone manage a smile and still be going through things, had endured through so much. He managed to keep a smile on his face. How did you keep a smile on your face through all that you've been through?
Well, a lot of times I feel like we all wear different masks. You know what I mean? We all wear different masks for different situations, and always trying to be optimistic. And at that point, I was just in a completely different place. You know what I mean? I didn't know what was going on, but I always had faith that God was going to pull me through. So at the end of the day, I feel like when you give it back to Him and truly believe that God's going to pull you through, then, it's going to happen. It's really going to happen. So at that point, you just kind of sit back and relax and let Him take the wheel.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
So when you say take the wheel, what were some things that you had to let go and let God take the wheel in your life?
Sheesh. It's a lot of things. Sometimes even today, it's still a struggle. Most recent, it could be my job. I had to work for a company, manage a gym, LA Fitness, back in Atlanta for about 6 years, and God was just like, it's time to move on. You know what I mean? Regular pay, benefits, almost guaranteed pay to just step out and do your own thing. And he said, just let it go.
Right. Right.
Sometimes you just gotta let it go and move forward.
You're right. And I know that you played basketball. So when you say moving forward, reading your foreword, y'all, I'm telling you, have to get the book. Reading the foreword, what is it? I'm sorry, can you tell everyone what the name of the syndrome is that you had developed and what you overcame?
So my book is called I'm Stronger, I'm Wiser, I'm Better. It's a story how I overcame complete paralysis and depression. In 2008, I was diagnosed with something called Guillain-Barré syndrome. I heard it pronounced Guillain-Barré, Guillain-Barré, different things like that. But it's basically when your immune system attacks your nervous system and causes paralysis. It normally starts in the feet and works its way up through your head. I don't know if you're familiar with your nervous system, but your nervous system controls everything. Your mind tells your body when to feel something. You ever get cut on your finger and don't even realize you got a cut, and then until you see some blood, or you look down and realize that you got a cut, now that nervous system went back, that signal went back to your mind saying, hey, that hurts. You know what I mean? But when you first got cut, you don't realize it. So that connection was completely gone. So I didn't feel anything. My lungs collapsed. My bladder collapsed. Facial expressions. I had to learn how to swallow. Had to everything. Almost like as if I was a 2-year-old toddler.
Wow. How did you manage to keep your faith in God during that time?
To be honest, I didn't. I gave up on God. I gave up. I can honestly sit here and say that I was frustrated. I spent 4 months in the hospital. And, going through it, family stopped coming, friends stopped coming. Not all my family and friends, but some of the ones that I definitely thought would have been there was there. One of my chapters in my book is titled Suicide Attempt. Depression hit me really, really hard. And after that point, that's when I realized, you know what, in order to move forward, I have to give it to God. I think that whatever God was trying to get me to understand, He needed to paralyze me. That's crazy. He needed to paralyze me in order for me to understand what He needed me to do.
Wow. Yeah, that's really deep. It makes me think about how God does sit us down at times. So do you believe that was God telling you, I have other things for you to do? Did you ever think that you would make it through that?
At times, I didn't think I would make it through it, but that's crazy. It's crazy if you sit back and think, what was that serious and that important for God to paralyze you or somebody else just for that person to get a message? And as I'm realizing, so many other people were getting the message from the struggle that I went through. So He didn't only paralyze me for me, He paralyzed me for other people as well.
To touch other people and help them to
Most
see
definitely.
that God is real.
Most definitely.
And He has the final say so.
And I realized that not everybody is strong enough to pull through something. So I believe that God chose me for a reason to know that I'm going to pull through it, and I have the will and the faith to go ahead. So you know what? I'm gonna touch this young man at 23, take his legs away from him, put him on a breathing tube, put all types of tubes. I had to go through 9 plasmapheresis. That's like a blood exchange hooked up to a dialysis machine. It was crazy. he put me through so much, and even to this day, I'm still realizing that a lot of my family and friends that were there and seen it, they're still like in shock.
Yeah, I know they are, because
Yeah.
I'm in shock.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally a walking miracle. Y'all, I was so touched when I read the foreword, because you just don't hear of that. You don't hear of that. How do you empower yourself now? Like, how do you stay grounded?
Well, just waking up every day. Even small things, just a reminder, even though this was 2008 through 09, taking deep breaths. That was something that people take for granted. You know how you sigh, and sometimes I realized that I couldn't breathe at one point. I couldn't breathe at one point. I couldn't talk because I had a respirator in my mouth for almost 2 weeks. So tying my shoe was a struggle. So I think seeing my kids, you know, just being with them, they help keep me grounded. My wife always reminds me. It's a lot of things that just on a day-to-day basis, it reminds me. Even sitting up straight in this chair right now, that was a struggle. We take it for granted, but it was a struggle just to sit up in a chair straight.
Yeah. Wow, y'all, I'm speechless. I have no words, because I'm in shock. It's really, y'all need to know that God is real, and He does have the final say so. Before we go, I just want you to, share, is there anything out of your book that anyone needs to, a quote, or do you have a positive word for anyone to share this morning? Anyone that may, need some uplifting or encouragement?
I'm gonna say that God always has a plan. A lot of times we don't understand what the plan is. When we was talking earlier, I mentioned the story of Abraham and Isaac. Abraham waiting on his son, waiting and asking God for a son for so long, and then finally get him, and God asked him to sacrifice him, and Abraham was just like, the story, he was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, okay, but to me, anyone that has kids, they know that it's so hard to do something and just give something all the way up without knowing the plan. Just sit back, let God take the wheel. Whatever you're going through, have faith. Stop stressing over it. Just give it 100% to God and do everything within your power to make it happen, and just let Him take over. Let Him take over. Be faithful and humble.
Be faithful and humble. That's it right there, y'all. Also, a lot of us are influenced by people, and a lot of us, we place ourselves around people, and we don't realize the influence that they have on us. So, how have you managed to keep a good circle of people around you? How have you been influenced to put your best foot forward?
You know what? Everything I do right now is for my kids, 100%. I believe that we work hard, we build legacies. I don't want to get old, and in my will I pass down some phone posits and some Jordans, and you know what I mean? That's, to me, is bigger than that. It's bigger. Your legacy can't just be, well, your dad was a good basketball player, your dad was, what are you really, really working hard for?
Right.
You know what I mean? What are you passing down? To me, I feel like when I wrote this book, and even to this day, it's blowing me away. Like, this book could be here for centuries. This book could touch so many different lives and inspire so many people to pull through depression, to help rediscover themselves, build a stronger relationship with God. It can help people do so many different things. So right now, I'm going to say my inspiration to keep going every single day is the kids, and just building a legacy and just working, letting them see what their dad is actually doing to just keep it moving.
Right, because they look up to you.
Mm-hmm.
So parents, as I've said all the time, kids realize when you're hurt, and they realize when you're doing good. So encourage yourself so that you can encourage them. The kids are the future. So it's important to, empower yourself so that they can be empowered. Jonathan, I want to thank you for coming on this morning. Y'all, we're down to 3 minutes, so I'm just going to have him share where y'all can find his book and anything else that he may want to share as far as Instagram or Facebook. Where can they find you?
So you can follow me on Instagram on Love is Black Shop. You can type in Love is Black Shop. It'll come up. I have another one, Mr. J Collins, is Mr. _ JAY _ Collins, spelled out COLLINS. To purchase the book, you can go to loveisblack.com. You'll see some clothing on there. You'll see a lot of the merchandise. I also put the book on there. And I have a separate website just for the book where you can see other reviews. It's called MrJCollins.com. You can see those reviews and things. And some people like to do Kindle. You can go to Amazon and purchase it on Kindle right there too as well. Working on the audio version, y'all.
Oh.
I'm working on it. A lot of people want me to read the book myself and do the audio version.
Yes.
And I want to be completely honest. I'm kind of nervous about doing the audio version because I cannot read my book to this day without getting emotional.
Yeah, I'm telling you, y'all. When I read
it's a struggle for me. Yeah.
And I can see why, because you know how God has touched your life.
Right.
And it's amazing. And it's called I'm Stronger, I'm Wiser, I'm Better. And that is by Jonathan Collins. So if y'all missed any of the show, y'all can go back to WRUU.org. Again, I have Jonathan Collins here with me this morning. How he overcame his paralysis and depression. It's truly, truly a great story, y'all, even what I've read so far. So I do encourage y'all to pick up a copy of his book. And thank you, Jonathan, for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
I can't wait to work with you in the near future. And y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. I love y'all. Stay encouraged. Stay uplifted. Know that, God has a plan for you. God has a plan for all of us. Whatever has been placed on your mind to do, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen for ourselves. Let's make it happen for our families. But first, it must start with self. So believe so that you can retrieve. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in with me. I'm Jessica Williams, and thank you for tuning into my show, WRUU, where we help ourselves to form more positive thoughts to eliminate negative thinking, mixing some jazz, gospel, and R&B in between. Until tomorrow, y'all have a fantastic day. Take it easy now. Love y'all. Peace.
That's all.
Music not playing. Well, if you ever hear a radio station not play no music, that is not good. It's not playing. What is going on? I gotta have something playing. Okay, so I'm gonna send you the file. So if anybody, want to go back and listen to the interview, tell them that they can go back and listen. And I want to take some pictures before you go. I cannot wait to read this book. Honestly, talking to you, I was trying not to cry because I'm serious. God is using you, and it's amazing. And it's amazing to see a man get out here and share his story. Most women, they're okay with that. But not too many men want to share what they've been through and tell how God is using them. So that is amazing.